Hello, my name is Howard Simons, and we're going to take a look at making some wine today. A real easy, sort of simple wine blend that will be ideal for your first attempt. Something that will you'll enjoy, especially if you like Chardonnay or Pinot Grigio. Both of those wines are really favorites of mine. And this is not going to be that wine. It's going to be sort of a simplified version of a white wine that's very affordable, but will capture some of the key flavors. Now here's what that kind of a wine looks like. This is the end result of our project, folks. I call this a Chardon blend. That's probably misleading, but I wanted to know in our collection of wines what we intended to do with this particular wines, that it was going to sort of echo a Chardonnay type flavor and body and crispness. And it's really a white blend with some fruitiness to it, and I'll explain that later. But this is an example of what you'll do. You'll be able to have a nice wine bottle like that, make your own labels, design them, and we call our little home winery, since we've been making wine since 1973, that's a long time, and we call it the Hidden Garden Winery. And why is it the Hidden Garden? Nobody knows where it is. Anyway, it's in our house, and so we kind of like the sunburst coming through the trees. Reminds me of the brilliance of our dear Lord and what He does in our lives. And so this is one of the gifts that we have, and I think it's a great idea to encourage you to get into making your own type of wine. So I'm going to review some of the equipment that you'll need to get started, and I've got these things laid out here. You start your wine basically in a fairly good sized bucket. You can see that this one already has markings on it for gallons. This is a food grade plastic container that is designed specifically for making homemade wine, and the gallon markers. Today we're going to make 3 gallons. The reason I'm choosing that is that it takes just as much time and effort to make 1 gallon as 3 gallons and actually as 6 gallons. So we're just going to go with a 3-gallon batch today, keep things simple. The primary fermenter is what this is called. This is where you initiate the fermentation action. It has a lid with a hole in it. I had to cut that hole in there. I kind of used a hole saw. And it fits tightly. You can see the rubber seal that's on the inside to make sure you get a firm fit. This is a bung, B-U-N-G, but just call it a stopper. I designed it so that this would fit in there, and that hole is there for an airlock. What you don't want is air coming into the wine. What you want is for the gases that the fermentation process produces, the CO2, etc., and the action of the yeasts, to leave the wine. And so there's a combination of things. This is an airlock tube, and there's a little stopper that goes in there. Actually, it dances around. This is actually the stopper. And then they fit together like this, and the whole assembly will go in there. And there is a little line there. I'm not sure you can see it or not, but the line is there for what you can fill it up with some water, and I would recommend using either distilled water or well-filtered water. And the action of the gas leaving causes that little middle piece to rise up, and then it'll bubble out. And I like this style. There's several styles of airlock, but that, as you come into the kitchen, which is where we are now, and where you make your wine, where we make our wine, and you'll likely make your wine. It's called the kitchen floor. That tells you things are working right. And I like that. So that's one of those pieces of equipment.